The New York Times just broke a very interesting article. This topic is gathering a ton of attention. They try to answer the question of how short and narrow can my workouts be and still give me a benefit, and still help me build muscle, and still help me get fitter, improve my heart health, improve my fitness. Exercise snacks. Now, it's not what you might think. You might be thinking it's getting outside for a walk for 5 minutes or doing a light stretch. It's not that. I'm going to explain exactly what it is and how it can help and some of the science that supports it. The term exercise snacks, if we think of nutrition, what is a snack? Well, it's supposed to be a small provision of calories, something to tie you over. It's something to provide a little shot of protein, no more than 200 to 300 calories. It's not making up a significant portion of your calories for the day. So if we relate that back to exercise and activity, it's making up a little bit of your activity throughout the day. Now, here's the thing. If you engage in a certain type of exercise snacks on a consistent basis, the research is now showing us that it might provide you with an array of health benefits that are disproportionate to the amount of time that you're exercising. So that, if we're taking the nutrition example, is like me saying, hey, if you have this little chocolate protein bar, it's actually going to provide you with 50% of the protein you need today for the entire day. But if this bar could provide you with that much protein for only a fraction of the calories, if you were to get that much protein from your meals, from your food, the calories in this example could be thought of as time. So the protein is the health benefits, the fitness benefits, and the calories is the time. So usually to get all these benefits, the time has to be really high. You have to run for 75 to 150 minutes a week, cardiovascular exercise. You have to go into the gym for 3 sessions. Each of them have to be at least 60 minutes, right? There's a significant time investment there, and that's the calories. But what if I told you the calories can be way lower to still get a good bang for your buck with protein, or still get a good bang for your buck with the array of health benefits? And the array of health benefits I'm talking about: cardiovascular, muscular. Muscular, we're talking increased muscle strength. If you're beyond the age of 40, 50, 60, 70, if you're getting older, muscle preservation, muscle protection, which becomes notoriously more difficult as we go beyond the age of 40. And of course, with increased muscle strength, it opens up a huge amount of downstream benefits, like protection of your joints, of your bones, protection against falls if you are getting past the age of 60, 70, 80. Now, a lot of 60-year-olds listening to this might be like, dude. Anyway, there's so many rabbit holes we could go here. If we now take it over to cardiovascular health benefits, exercise pushes your cardiovascular system into an uncomfortable range. We could say uncomfortable, or we could say adaptive. It increases your heart rate, your blood pressure, and in response to that, your cardiovascular system adapts. Your respiratory system adapts, so that the next time you're going for a run or an exercise session, it's better able to handle that and maybe can push beyond it. That's essentially what getting fit is. And pushing your body to that point, not going overboard, little subtle increases in the stress that you're placing on your body, on your cardiovascular system over time, that is going to really help with your longevity and your overall health. Okay, let's get into what exercise snacks are. But first, if you end up liking this video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, share it with anyone who could use it, and get a comment down below so we can start some conversations if you have any questions or anything you want to add. So the article's title is How Little Exercise Can You Get Away With? And it's written by Charlie Ashwaubenon of the New York Times. So he says, how much do you have to do to get health benefits? Any amount. A 2022 meta-analysis found that adults who spend just a few minutes a day doing resistance training could reduce the risk of all-cause mortality, which is essentially dying from any disease, cardiovascular disease, mortality, and cancer mortality. So listen to what we're saying here. If you are extremely busy, which ironically, people who go beyond the ages of 40, 50, 60, we're becoming more and more busy because you're more advanced in your careers, you have more responsibilities, you probably have a family, ton of shit on your mind. You're tasked with training becoming more and more important, with having less and less time to do so. So we have the perfect solution: exercise snacks. With what little time you have, if you can try to hit the minimum effective dose, and I'm going to give you the secret sauce for this, the secret ingredient of how you can do it. It's not what you think. It's not different modalities. It's not different mobility workouts. It's one specific factor. It's intensity. That is the key factor. You have to push your body to a certain intensity. And remember when we talked about the cardiovascular stress response? The key there was pushing the limit of what you can do. And that's the exact same with building muscle. To build muscle, you have to go and contract it against resistance. It's usually weights against gravity, right? A downward weight. And what you're actually doing there is you're actually causing micro injuries. You're tearing the muscle fibers. And assuming you have adequate or optimal nutrition, you're eating enough food overall, you're getting great sleep, you're getting enough protein, you're hydrating, all of those combine with that stressful workout to repair those muscle fibers back stronger and bigger. So that is essentially the process of hypertrophy, muscle growth. So it's similar idea, it's just a little bit different, right? Of how you push and improve the ability of your muscular system, aka building muscle, and your cardiovascular system. So the first study mentioned here is a meta-analysis done in 2022. This is essentially a review of several other smaller studies, which is a really good quality study because it takes all of these studies and it aggregates them and it tries to get a quantifiable consensus, if you will. And they found that just a couple of minutes a day or 1 to 2 sessions a week of just resistance training was associated with significantly lower risk of dying of any disease, dying of cardiovascular or heart disease, and cancer. And that was seen in tens of thousands of people, followed over decades. Now, the next study is even more interesting, and this was done in 2021 in Netherlands, and it was at gym facilities. And they looked at over 15,000 new members who did 20 minutes a week in one session, and it was one set of 5 to 6 repetitions of a range of different exercises. 6 different exercises, but they were performed close to failure. It means you're lifting at an intensity or a weight that if I say you do 6 repetitions, that's close to failure, you have to pick a weight that by the time you get, let's say we're using the bench press as an example, by the time you get to repetition number 5, you don't even know if you can get to 6. To get that 6th rep out, you're talking to yourself and you're breathing heavy and you push that up. That's close to failure. It's not being able to rack out just 6 and you could have done 3 or 4 more. So that idea of getting close to failure is showing you that you're pushing your muscular system and sometimes your cardiovascular system to that point where it now has to start adapting. So it's at that stress level where it starts adapting. And this one is crazy. So after 1 year, the participants increased their strength by 30% on average. And the researchers concluded that even extremely low volume training, if the intensity is there, can produce that substantial strength gain that we're talking about. So anyway, enough of the studies. Let's look at how you can bring this into your daily life. The key here is they have to be intense. Now, that doesn't mean they always have to be in a gym. Obviously, you could get a set of dumbbells, a weight that the exercises that you're going to be doing, they're intense, right? It's going to be 6 to 8 reps, but they're going to be intense. Now, on the other side of that, you can make a deal with yourself that you might go with the lighter dumbbells, but you have to aim for about 12 reps in all the exercises you're going to do. So you're going a bit higher on the volume, a bit lower on the intensity, and it's still going to produce that beneficial response, even though we're talking a lot about the weight and the intensity here. And that is the essence of these exercise snacks. It's the intensity. So now if we take it to like the workplace, right? If you have these habits that you try to stick to, and I do a lot of seminars in very high responsibility environments, and these are tips we give, right? We actually, during the seminars, we get them up doing some of the exercise snacks. And what we use is resistance bands. You can do a ton of different movements with that. Again, the resistance band should be a very high resistance so that it's pushing you at about that 6th, 7th, 8th rep. You're tired. You can't really squeeze out anymore. Not even looking at equipment. Something you could do at the office, at home on your laptop. It has to be intense, remember. So if we're talking cardiovascular, it could be something like push-ups. It could be body weight squats, but you're pausing. It could be lunges, but you're pausing. How can you up the intensity of these exercise snacks? If you're making the agreement with yourself that they don't have to be an outrageous length of time. One big one we give if people are working in high rises is the stairs. So it might be difficult if you're wearing a suit or a suit skirt or a dress, but trying to run or jog up the stairs. Now, be careful, of course, this is, don't take my advice for it, but running. And that's the thing, right? It's not, everyone's, oh, just walk around for 5 minutes. That's great. That's great. You're getting steps in. It's going to help. But when we're talking about the research that they're seeing here, it's that if you get to a high enough intensity, you might be able to get a pretty big piece of the pie as it pertains to the gains, as it pertains to the fitness of longer workouts if you just push yourself. So what I'll do is I'll give a bunch of examples in a document. I'll put the link in the caption here. All I ask is that if this helped and you know someone that it could help, subscribe, share it to them, comment down below. I'm Pat, the Performance Guy, and I'll see you in the next video.